So are you thinking about making a move to Florida, specifically the Port St. Lucie or Treasure Coast area, but you keep hearing all these horror stories about the taxes? You're not going to want to miss this video. Stick around. My name is Megan Schoner. I'm a local real estate agent here in Port St. Lucie, Florida, and I wanted to go over some of considerations for the taxes here. That is, if you've seen my other videos, that is one of the main complaints that we get consistently over here from people moving from out of the area is what in the world is going on with your taxes? Or I would love to move to your area, but I don't know what to do about the taxes. They're crazy high. In this video, I'm going to go over things like portability, homestead exemptions, and then also compare St. Lucie County taxes to our county to the south of us in Martin County, which is Stuart, Palm City, Jensen Beach, to give you a comparison of the taxes on both and then also the cost of the home. So hope this video is helpful. If you like this video, please hit the like and subscribe button so you can be alerted to videos that I send out every single week. If you're thinking about moving to the area, buying a home in the area, or just want some more information, I am happy to set up a Zoom call with you and help you find your treasure here on the Treasure Coast. So one of the questions that I get is why in the world is the millage rate different in St. Lucie County than it is in Martin County? You would think in Martin County the home prices are higher, that the millage rate would be higher and the taxes would be higher. So it's kind of a flip in St. Lucie County versus Martin County. The reason for it is these home prices in Port St. Lucie or St. Lucie County were historically much lower than they were in Martin County, but there still was the same needs for services in the county and the city. So they had to have a higher millage rate to offset the lower values in the homes. So that is why our millage rate is higher than it is in Martin County, is because our price point on our homes, way back when was so significantly different than it was in Martin County. Now we're slowly catching up, and hopefully one of these days our millage rates will go down, but that's where we are right now. Okay, so today I'm going to talk about the taxes, which is always a hot button here in St. Lucie County versus Martin County. So what I always tell my buyers when they're looking to move into this area is contact the property appraiser's office. They are fantastic. They have tax estimators. They will walk you through and give them the different addresses and the sales prices of the homes that you are looking for, and they will give you an estimated tax rate on it. So always start there. I am doing my best to try to educate you guys as best as I can, but I am not the expert. I always, refer back to the property appraiser's office, and they will really any specific questions that you have. So let's just get started. When buyers are looking for homes, they are looking, let's say Port St. Lucie's versus Stuart. So I have an example for you guys of 4 different homes. So I looked at 2 homes in Port St. Lucie at $450,000 and 2 homes in Stuart, Florida that were also $450,000. These 2 homes are both not in a gated community. They are not 55 and older, but the differences are, the first one is at 568 Southwest Undalo Circle. This one is a 4-bedroom, 2-bath built in 2022. Taxes on it are $7,510 and it has about 1,900 feet under air. So again, you can see in Port St. Lucie, for the same price as what you're paying in Martin County, you're getting a newer or larger home or a home with a pool for the same price. So you're getting more house for your money. However, the taxes will be higher in St. Lucie County because of our millage rate. The second one is here in Port St. Lucie, Florida. This is $450,000, 4618 Southwest Dactyl Street. Again, professional photography, which is fantastic. This is also one of my listings. This is a brand new 3-bedroom, 2-bath pool home, about 1,468 square feet under air. Taxes on it are $2,045, built in 2003. It has a brand new roof, CBS construction, impact windows, and this one has a pool as well. So again, you see a little bit of a newer home and a little bit more upgrades for the exact same price here in Port St. Lucie, Florida. So that's kind of what you can get in Port St. Lucie for $450,000. A little bit of a newer home, sometimes with a pool. You've got a brand new roof. That's what's going on in Port St. Lucie. Now, that same $450,000, if you're going to look at Martin County, there was nothing in Jensen Beach or Palm City for that price point, but there were 2 in Stuart. First one is 3790 Southeast Salerno Road. This is also for $450,000. This is in Stuart. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,075 square foot home. It is built built in 1958, and the taxes on it are $3,614.81. It's got the terrazzo floors, a little bit of an updated kitchen, but again, very small, 1,000 square feet. So that's what you can get in the Stuart area in Martin County. The second one is at 2047 Southeast Monroe Street. This is a 4-bedroom, 2-bath home that was built in 1977. It has 2,055 square feet under air. The current taxes, when you first buy the home, you're paying the taxes the first year for the previous owner, and their taxes were $1,204.54. You can see again, it's with it being a 1977 home, it's a little bit more dated. And again, this is just me as a real estate agent. It drives me crazy when I see photos like this that aren't professionally done. Doesn't do us any service to the sellers. So that is the first one at 2047 Southeast Monroe Street. One of the things here, the way that we do our taxes here, it may be different than in other parts of the country, is our taxes are paid in arrears. That means that come November 1st, so like November 1st, 2024, you will be paying the taxes from January 1st through December of 2024. So you're basically paying everything backwards. Sometimes when buyers are going to closing, depending on when the closing happens, they think, oh, I've got this great credit, for my taxes. This is fantastic. But it's because you're paying off from the previous year. So when the taxes do come up, you're going to actually owe, from that year. So just something a little bit different is that we pay our taxes in arrears. So on those same 4 houses, I did talk with both property appraisers' offices to get kind of a better idea in millage rates. And that's always a big hot topic here. So the 2 homes in Port St. Lucie were in the 34953 zip code. Their millage rate on both of those is 22.736. So that's per $1,000 of ownership versus Martin County's, specifically in the Stuart location for those 2 homes, the millage rate there was 16.67. So what that translates to when I had them run the numbers for me, on a $450,000 home with Homestead, the home in Stuart, the taxes would be between $6,200 and $6,900. The same $450,000 home in Port St. Lucie with Homestead is between $8,800 and $9,800 with Homestead exemption. So there is a big difference in terms of the taxes from Stuart versus Port St. Lucie. However, when you look at the homes, the home prices in Stuart for a comparable home, what you get in Port St. Lucie, you are going to be paying a lot more for that same home in Martin County on the sales price. So that's where we kind of go back and forth in terms of if you're looking at staying at an overall monthly payment. You may want to take a look at both areas because you may be able to get more house in Port St. Lucie, but your taxes are going to be higher versus in Stuart, where you're going to get maybe an older home, needs a little bit more work, or you may have to spend more money for the same house, but your taxes are going to be a little bit lower. So just something to think about. Talk to your mortgage lender, the property appraiser, your realtor. We are always happy to go through and run through these numbers, but it's really important to consider both of those things, plus obviously insurance as well too. A lot of people will say, well, what in the world is this Florida homestead exemption? I've never even heard of this thing. It is due every March 1st, so that's part of the reason for making this video. Is it is very timely at this point. You have to apply for your homestead exemption if you are going to claim that this house is your primary residence in Florida. If it's not, then you don't get the Florida exemption. So the exemptions reduce the assessed value of your property, thereby reducing the amount of property tax you owe. If it is your permanent residence or homestead, you may be eligible for tax exemption, and there are several exemptions available. For example, there's a first responders exemption. If you're older than 65, there's another $25,000 exemption, $5,000 for a disability exemption, disabled veterans property tax discount. If you're an actively deployed military personnel, you get an exemption for that. Disability exemption, a widow or widower's exemption. So those are all additional exemptions that you can apply for in addition to the homestead exemption. So what the homestead exemption does is you have to purchase your home by January 1st of 2023, and you need to apply for it by March 1st of 2024. It needs to be your primary residence. But one thing that's interesting too is you actually can rent out your home for up to 3 months and still claim it as your homestead exemption. So kind of an interesting thing there. Florida homestead exemption basically locks in your assessed value. So this is a little bit confusing, but when you have a Florida homestead exemption, they cannot raise your assessed value more than 3% every year, but your taxes still can go up, and that's all based on the market value of the home at the time. So it's always a little bit confusing for people because they said, I locked it in, it shouldn't go up, but it actually can still go up, but at least your assessed value can't continue to jump and go all over the place. So that is very helpful there, and it does give you a tax break. For example, one of the homes that I was looking at, the same house I was looking at under in Port St. Lucie, with the homestead exemption versus the non-homestead exemption, it saves you about $1,000 to $2,000 a year on this $450,000 home. So you do save money on your overall taxes, and it does lock you in no more than 3% assessed value every year. So it is a good savings to have. The other thing too is if you have a home in the state of Florida, you are able to have what's called portability. So you are able to contact your property appraiser from the home that you're selling. So basically what it does is it takes the market value minus the assessed value, and then you get your portability deducted from there. Then you take that percentage and you subtract that from your assessed value. But basically, if you are downsizing, you can't take all of your portability from your previous home to your new home, but you can take a portion of it. And if you are upsizing, you can take all of it. So again, it's another way to have some tax savings, and a lot of people aren't aware of it. So, and it's throughout the entire state of Florida. So if you have a house in Florida and you are looking to move to another area in Florida, definitely ask about the portability. You can ask the current county that your house is being sold in. They're the ones that will transfer the portability to the new home. But again, just some really good tax savings there that people may not be aware of. If you're concerned about your taxes here, I always say start with the property appraiser's office. They have fantastic tools. They are more than willing to help. You know, a lot of times you hear government offices are just horrible to work with, but at least in St. Lucie County with Michelle Franklin and her office, they are fantastic. They bend over backwards. It's easy to get in and out of, easy to call. They are very, very helpful. So highly recommend checking out their office if you have any questions on it. So the taxes here in this area are high. They're higher than other areas, but the cost of living and what you're able to get here, the wonderful sunshine and the lifestyle that we have, still makes it a great destination. So hopefully this was helpful. It's always a little bit confusing talking about taxes. I'm a real estate agent. I am not in the property appraiser's office. I am not an accountant. Always go to those people, first for the direct information. But I did want to share with you because there are some different tricks and some things that will help to reduce your taxes. So I hope you found some value in this video. If you have any more questions about the taxes here on the Treasure Coast and you want to set up a Zoom call, I am always happy to talk to you. I will also put the link in the description as well too.